amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
And it's another beautiful day across the natural state, isn't it? Yeah, we had the rain come through last night. I think you got it in all of our listening area. It started to rain just as I was walking out of Bud Walton Arena following Arkansas women's basketball pasting Tarleton.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had a little pregame argument. Is it Tarleton or is it Tarleton State?
Tarleton State. That's
It
what
says
it says.
Tarleton State on the Razorback game notes on the schedule, but on the Tarleton website it just said Tarleton.
I
And
thought
that's what they all wanted to be called. The fact of the matter is they just
Is it like U of A, UALR wants to be just Little Rock type of thing?
Probably, yeah, probably.
And as an
something
alum,
like that.
I'm not on board with that. I still call it UALR.
Yeah, most people you still call it Euler in Central Arkansas, if I remember correctly.
That was never a good look.
That was never a good thing.
No, not a good look at all. Was a really good look for the women's basketball team last night. After about the first 3-4 minutes, they just ran away from an overmatched Tarleton team, and defense stood out for the women's basketball team. I think in a way that defense hasn't necessarily stood out for a long time. Team looks like they've got the makings of a really good defensive team. Didn't allow more than 8 points in a quarter until giving up 12 in the fourth and hold Tarleton 11 for 49 shooting. This was a Tarleton team that had some size, but they didn't have the quickness, and they really had a lot of trouble getting the ball into the post and then doing something if they did get the ball into the post. Really, it was an impressive performance and a lot of fun to see the team get out there last night in front of the crowd, and so now back-to-back wins on opening days for Arkansas men's basketball and women's basketball, and, I mean, honestly, you couldn't have expected anything else anyway. So now the women's team plays tomorrow against UAPB. Nobody's ever called them UP before, just like we did with Euler. Yeah, that sounds worse than Euler does. It's a 12.
But do they prefer just Pine Bluff, or do they like the UAPB?
I don't remember, and you know how on the game notes it'll tell you how a school wants to be referred. I don't know if I read that portion of the UAPB game notes. But then there were fewer pages on those game notes than most of the other schools, which I can appreciate. I can appreciate brevity in game notes that
some of the game
like
notes
75 pages long.
They're a little much. Like, I get it. You did your research, SID. You did your job. I appreciate it. But can I get a Cliff Notes version of the game notes?
Yeah. So I don't remember whether they wanted to be UAPB or Pine Bluff or whatever. But then Gardner-Webb Saturday for the men, and of course right after that it's Arkansas versus LSU in Death Valley. Hey, before we go any further, we should, at the very beginning of the show, salute all of the veterans who are listening to this program, and also to those who are not, all across the country and all across the world. Thank you to our veterans who have served, and to the members of the military who are currently serving. We can all appreciate the dedication that it takes to be a part of the United States military and the sacrifice that you have given to our country, and certainly we stand and salute you. The fact of the matter is, when you're talking about Veterans Day, it's like we're really celebrating a lot of people that were around on a day-by-day basis. And if you just are in a crowd, like take for the women's basketball game yesterday, in a crowd of they announced 2,614. I would imagine quite a few. They had, I think it was like 25 veterans on the floor for a halftime ceremony, and I know that there were others that were in the building that weren't
100%
be
sure they were.
So we're celebrating us, but we're celebrating those of us who chose to go a bit of a different route in life than like you and me, Drew. They sacrifice, they dedicate.
Their sacrifice was what led and allowed us to do what we do. I mean, without them and without the military of this great country, and without those men and women who chose to make that sacrifice to serve their country, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be able to do this job, and wouldn't be allowed to, enjoy this as much as we do. So I do really appreciate everything. Just like so many other people, I've got military members. In my family, my mom's father served in the Navy on the USS Manatee during the Korean War. My great-grandfather on my dad's side served in World War I. My dad's father was in the Army and worked at the Pentagon for a few years. I've had an uncle in the Navy, an aunt in the Navy, and countless other great uncles and cousins and second cousins and so on and so forth. So, and I know just like everybody else, there's not a single person out there who doesn't have a close friend or a family member who has served. So this is a holiday that we can all truly get behind, because it is personal, because we do know those people as our friends and as our family, and can ultimately do our best to thank them as much as we can today, when we should be thanking them every day. But it just highlights that here today. And I just want to say thank you and happy Veterans Day to not only people that I personally know, my friends and my family, but to all of y'all and your loved ones.
And Arkansas Athletics, of course, was wearing the red, white, and blue Hog logo on the helmets Saturday, plus all the insignias of all the branches of the military on the back of the helmet. Women's basketball coaches last night were wearing the same, I think it was the same sweatshirts that the coaching staff for football wore last Saturday. Kind of looked like military fatigues, camouflage. So, and at halftime, both games, we definitely saluted those who serve our military. So thank you very much. And if you want to get in on that, or anything else throughout this show, easy to do it at 877-377-6963. And on halftime today, it is Bob Holt. At the bottom of this hour, we'll dig into Arkansas versus LSU this weekend, get Bob's thoughts on the Razorback men's basketball opening game victory Tuesday against Mercer. Halftime homework in hour number 2, and we bring on national basketball writer David Cobb from CBS Sports in the second hour. I saw, Drew, where out of all of the CBS basketball experts that made their Final Four picks, Cobb was the only one who chose your East-West Memphis Tigers to make it to the Final Four. There was one writer, I can't remember who it was, I'd have to go back and look on their list, who chose Arkansas as a Final Four participant. But mostly, you saw a lot of Kansas,
a lot of Duke,
a lot of Purdue.
Yes.
And then Cobb chooses Texas as his national champion, which is very interesting in a first year under Chris Beard. But, I think a lot of times, especially in the age of total roster turnover on a year-by-year basis, and that happened at Texas. It's happened at Arkansas. It's happened across a lot of the SEC top programs, that you really can't tell before the season starts if there's going to be that chemistry that leads to a fantastic run. I mean, you can have all this great talent, but
that's what you're going on. You're going off of talent and what you saw them do at the high school and the AAU level, or what they saw at their previous stop at their transfer, and just kind of the reputation of what the coach has. You have a coach like Eric Musselman here at Arkansas that has the reputation for having those transfer type of teams, of having to constantly rework chemistry and re-gel in a bunch of guys. It's easy to have faith that he'll do it again.
Yeah, but the reason why, and I think why Cobb is choosing Texas, there is a vast collection of talent that they gathered there. There's no doubt about that. But it's also, there's been a lot of early success for Coach Beard's teams early in his tenure at the programs that he's run recently. Of course, he had the run for Little Rock in his first year, and then in year 2 at Texas Tech, they almost win a national championship. So I guess he's thinking year 1 they're going to win a national championship. All right, we got a phone call on hold here. Question from Chandler and Van Buren asking, what's up with Nick Smith? I know Nick was the lone Razorback men's basketball commit who did not sign yesterday for the upcoming class and for the start of National Signing Day, or it was the early signing period. I don't think I'd say that there's anything up with him.
No.
He just hasn't decided whether or not he's going to sign during the early period or at the regular moment. So I don't know if I'd say there's anything up with him.
I mean, you'd feel a lot better if the pen was already to paper, though.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But I think they also expected this. And All right. The other one I'm not going to get to. So let's get to Wade and Branch on hold here. Wade, how you doing, man? You're on halftime.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
Hey. First of all, I salute all the guys on Veterans Day. All our military guys. I salute them. And my dad was in the military. He was in World War II in the Philippines. But another thing I was going to say is, Razorback basketball fans, I'm going to do a term like Aaron Rodgers says, relax. It's going to be okay when you get down at halftime. And but anyway, the LSU game, I've got some cautious optimistic. I think we can win, and I just want to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you're used to Arkansas men's basketball trailing at halftime now, or at least having a slow start. I mean, that's been a thing now for over 2 seasons. At least over a season while Muss has been here, and I don't necessarily know what to put it on, but I mean, this is a team that routinely last year slow starts, but they made it up quite a bit. I know the guys in the afternoon, Ruskin and Zach, were talking about like the percentage of wins for the Razorbacks with Muss when trailing at halftime is something like 42%. They win when trailing at halftime, which is nuts. So they make the halftime adjustments, I guess. And
yeah, but you'd still rather not be trailing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But that, you know what that means? Like the most oft used question at the post-game press conferences is, what did you say at halftime to get the team to change things around? It's always the halftime. What was
your big
speech,
halftime
right?
adjustments?
Yeah. It's always the halftime adjustments. But that does say a little bit about coaching to be able to make the adjustments. But certainly, I'm sure Muss would like to not have a conniption during the first half, like happens every once in a while. And as far as Arkansas versus LSU, why don't we take the break, and we'll get into that when we come back, because I do have some thoughts about that and reasons why I think Arkansas's got a really good shot against LSU on Saturday. Again, it's 877-377-6963 if you want to get with halftime today. Brought to you, as always, by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. That's the dealership that served you for over 70 years in the River Valley in northwest Arkansas on a 17-acre, 26,000-square-foot showroom floor at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel. That's Crabtree RV Center. They'll help your family find the best RV for your adventures. And if you have a breakdown, the service and parts department can take care of you, too. They make your family's dreams come true. Crabtree RV's done it for over 70 years and 4 generations. The whole inventory is at CrabtreeRV.com, and halftime will come right back after this quick break.
Hey, this is Jason Fitz from ESPN.
Hey, this is Adam Levitan with Establish the Run.
Hey, this is Jake Seeley with The Athletic. Hey, this is Mike Clay from ESPN Fantasy. Hey, this is Jeff Erickson from RotoWire and SiriusXM Fantasy.
Hey, this is Daniel Dopp with ESPN.
Hey, everyone, this is C.D. Carter from Roto World. Hey, this is Sigmund Bloom with FootballGuys.com.
Hey, this is Bill Gates with ESPN, and you're listening to Fantasy Football Sunday.
Presented by the Arnold Team with Weichert Realtors in Harrison and a member of the League of Fort Smith. Sundays from 10 to 11 a.m.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Wherever work takes you, we've got you. The BF Goodrich Trademan Support Program. Get a $70 rewards card after online submission with the purchase of 4 new BF Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. You also get a $60 satisfaction guarantee and 24-hour worksite or roadside assistance. Southern Tire Mart just off of I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. BF Goodrich Tires and best-in-class service. See bfgoodrichtires.com/tradesman for complete details. Offer expires 12/31/2021. Void where prohibited.
TGI Fridays is the best place in Fort Smith for food, fun, and football. Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith has your favorite beers on tap. And Thursday through Sunday for bar football, all drafts are just $2. Fridays is the best place to watch football with plenty of TVs so you won't miss a second of the action while enjoying famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up. The vaccine is safe and effective in preventing severe cases of COVID. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call them now, 452-6116.
Looking for a fence company that will provide the personal touch to your fence or gating project? Call Dusty's Fence Company at 479-629-4190. Dusty's Fence Company specializes in custom wood design, vinyl fencing, chain link, and ornamental iron projects, and they can even stain your fence to complete your project. Family owned and in business for 20 years, you will deal with the same person from start to finish. That's Dusty's Fence Company, 479-629-4190.
Hey, Grounds guys.
Hey, what?
Y'all did such a great job on cleaning all the leaves from my yard, but I noticed y'all were pressure washing my neighbor's driveway. Y'all do that too?
Absolutely. Amy, the Grounds Guys is a full-service lawn and landscape company. We do leaf removal, gutter cleaning, power washing, and many other outdoor projects. At the Grounds Guys, we want your full lawn and landscape looking its best all year long. Call the Grounds Guys at 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-4897. And say,
Hey, Grounds guys.
and get $25 off any fall or winter service. The Grounds Guys.
Your company is known for top pay and great salaries, but how do your benefits compare to the competition? Hi, this is Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. In today's competitive labor market, great pay is no longer enough. Call me at 479-651-2292 and let's discuss your benefit plans to make sure your company has what it needs to attract and retain the best talent. I am Brett Good with Henderson Phillips. Call me today, 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Down a back road where the White River runs and the southern sun makes a country grow. Look what I found in the Ozark Mountains I ain't ever seen. It sure does feel like it's sitting on top of the world to me.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, Hog Reaction, Coffee with Counsel, Huddle Up, and Fantasy Football Sunday. All available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, HitThatLine.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
We're ready for, obviously, what they did last week, and we'll see what their adjustments are and try to adjust off that. The guy who's handled blitz as well is KJ. You know, we've seen more total blitz, all-out blitz over the last 3 games than you know you could get in an entire season. And KJ, and specifically Traylon, have hurt that. You know, you have nobody in the middle of the field. So if you win your one-on-one battle and your quarterback can get it to you, usually it turns into 6 points, that's what's been happening.
That was Sam Pittman Monday during his press conference, expecting LSU to at least show a lot of blitz. They blitzed over 50% of the plays against Alabama last week, and they've been successful getting to the quarterback in the last 3 weeks. You know, in the games that led into these past 3 for LSU, when they defeated Mississippi State, lost back-to-back to Auburn and Kentucky, they really didn't get to the quarterback at all and changed things up. I know that, you know, they said that they changed things up as far as the blitz packages go during the bye week that led into Alabama week, but even the 2 games before that, their victory over Florida, lost to Ole Miss, lost to Alabama now, they've gotten to the quarterback a bit. 9 sacks in the last 3 games. And, I mean, they got to Bryce Young 4 times, sacked Matt Corral 3, 2 sacks of Florida. So it's a team that can get to you, and they're going to try to come after KJ with some blitzes. I mean, that's exactly what Ed Orgeron said. We're going to do 2 on Monday because it worked against Alabama, and they had a great defensive performance. But if I'm a Razorback fan right now, I'd say bring it. Bring it. When you get weapons, like when you have it, let's just say when you have a weapon like Traylon Burks, and if somebody's going to bring a blitz and this is going to leave Burks one-on-one,
hot route,
bring it, man,
all day
long. I'd say that would look. It's a risk. It's a risk both ways, and they're well aware of that. But you leave Traylon Burks on one-on-one coverage over the middle, he's going to take that thing to the house.
Oh, no question about it. He's going to absolutely torch LSU's defense. If that's the game plan that they want, if they kind of look at Arkansas's offense right now and they're saying, we'd much rather them beat us through the air and instead of on the ground, then yeah, go ahead. Try to blitz, try to clog up some of the holes on the running game too, as well as, getting towards a quarterback if KJ decides to drop back. But with a guy like Traylon Burks on the outside, when you can just, especially if KJ is able to recognize the blitz in a manageable time, I mean, all you got to do is just option out and call a hot route. Just real quick, 2-3 yard slant, a hitch, something real quick that can get the ball out of KJ Jefferson's hands really quickly. And then ultimately that's going to open up the run game because they're going to have to, take some people out of the box to try to control Traylon Burks and some other wide receivers because you can't just automatically always go to Traylon. I mean, they're eventually going to key on that. So you're going to have to go to the other side and to Morris or Warren, one of those two guys. So this is going to open up a lot of stuff. If you can combat it right. There's a fine line between beating it and it beating you.
I think they're going to line up and show blitz a lot more than they actually will blitz. I think they'll
use it as a decoy.
They'll decoy. They'll try to confuse KJ. I think you'll see some run blitzes too. I mean, why wouldn't you against an Arkansas team that's so good running the ball? But for KJ, it's going to be a matter of what do you recognize and what do you react to, and who is it that you're going to? And it's another reason perhaps why Dominique Johnson is going to be out there more than any of the other backs because I think for me he's proven to be the best running back at picking up the blitz. I think Rocket Sanders has that capability too, but he's still learning the position, and Johnson's just a willing blocker. So, again, you just say, go ahead and bring it. But I think LSU will show it a lot. I'd be surprised if they blitz over 50% like the Alabama game, but I think you'll see it quite a bit. And so it's, you put the game in the quarterback's hands at that point, and if you're a Razorback fan right now,
pretty confident.
Don't you feel confident in KJ Jefferson? I know that when the season started and we put that question out there, it was I would say it was a little less than 50-50. It was a little less
heck, I would say it was
more
to
throw.
I would say it was more 40-60 than anything of people's confidence in KJ coming into the season. But he has done a phenomenal job of turning everybody onto his side and quieting any haters that he may still have at this point, because he has constantly improved game in and game out. He has made adjustments. He has made improvements. And when you see a guy grow game by game, it does nothing but give you confidence in his ability to whatever we saw, what we saw him do at State. It's going to be better this year, this week against LSU.
So, and kudos to Tom Murphy for pointing this out. Saw this in his Democrat Gazette report this morning, that KJ Jefferson is one of only 4 quarterbacks in the FBS with these statistics: 1,800 passing yards or more, at least 15 touchdown passes, at least 400 rush yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns or more. The other quarterbacks that are on this list are all talked about as being
first-round guys,
NFL prospects.
Yeah.
Sam Howell of North Carolina, Matt Corral, and Malik Willis of Liberty. So KJ Jefferson is one of those dudes. And the more I watch KJ and the more I project, because he will be better, I would expect better next year. Of course, the team's going to be a little bit different. Probably won't have Burks, but, growth as a quarterback should continue into another season, I think KJ Jefferson is going to play in the NFL. I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it at this point. Would you
start or whatever? But I think he is an NFL quarterback because Howell, Corral, and Willis are being looked exactly the same way, and KJ's got all of the physical attributes, or even more of the physical attributes than those guys.
He really does. I mean, there's a reason that people might like to compare him somewhat to Cam Newton because that's just his size and the way that he runs and the way that he plays. He has a little bit of Cam Newton in him. And speaking of Cam Newton, we do have some breaking news.
Oh, boy.
Cam Newton has agreed to a deal to return to the Carolina Panthers pending a physical.
How do you like that?
He is back in Charlotte.
The prodigal son returns.
Superman returns to the Panthers.
Wild, man. When has this happened before? That an NFL MVP is cut by the team and less than 2 years later is back with them. This is nuts.
I can't think of any. I mean, you think of some of the, memorable great NFL quarterbacks to play for other teams. You think of Unitas with the Chargers, or you think of Montana with the Chiefs.
I mean, Montana was okay with the Chiefs. He wasn't terrible with them.
He went to an AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, now you think of Tom Brady with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He won a Super Bowl.
Namath with the Rams.
Yes. So, but I can't remember any of them, going back at that point. Maybe, and not to say that Cam Newton's on the level of any of those guys that we just talked about. No, I think he probably could.
He was an MVP.
I mean, I think he would be on border with, maybe Joe Namath. I think Joe Namath, his personality really overshadows of his actual statistics and what he actually did in the National Football League. Did win the one Super Bowl over the Baltimore Colts. But outside of that, really wasn't that great of a NFL quarterback. I think his personality, his lifestyle, the name Broadway Joe really, really carried him.
Well, that's true. And it was a different game then, too. It was a much different game.
I know, it was.
I think he's one of the I think I'd have to look
Well,
at the
would you
stats,
ever put him in your top 10 quarterbacks of all time list?
No, you might not even put him in the top 20. But as far as personalities go,
top 10 personality for sure.
Look, I mean, when you're the quarterback of a New York-based team that wins a Super Bowl, it's the same as like Phil Rizzuto ending up in the Hall of Fame. He just he was good. He was really good on some great teams. I'm not saying he didn't belong there or whatever, but there's just some power when you do something special in New York City.
It helped carry him a bit.
There's a lot of sports writers too in New York that have votes.
There
for,
is.
halls of fame. All right, speaking of sports writers, we got one of the best coming up after the break. It's Bob Holt. Want to remind you that if you are holiday shopping now, Champion Cycling can help you find the joy in cycling. It's been a part of their family for many years. Your kid might be getting his first bike, might have an adult who hasn't been on a bike in years. Maybe it's someone who's looking to podium at their next race. Champion Cycling can help you find the right bike with a great selection of bicycles, cycling apparel, and accessories, plus great service. That's Champion Cycling at 5500 Massard Road in Fort Smith. Find your next ride with Champion Cycling. And Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette is next on Halftime.
Yeah, we be freaky and we want to stay.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
And better than ever, all eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, heart one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever.
Reduce your home energy bills while increasing your comfort. AOG and OG&E are offering a weatherization program that provides free home energy efficiency upgrades to current customers in Arkansas and Oklahoma. If your home is at least 10 years old, it may qualify for these upgrades, which include attic insulation, caulking, air sealing, weather stripping, and LED lighting. To find out how you can benefit from these free home weatherization improvements, contact 844-413-3065 or visit AOGC.com.
Wake up your happy at Hardee's with the new $3 French toast dip. Wait, what? French toast dip sprinkled with powdered sugar and served with a side of syrup. Sugary, syrupy, dippable. Sweeten up your morning at Hardee's. Try the new $3 French toast dips at Hardee's. The sweet one on the 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Available during regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Seems I've got to have a chance to see him. Every night I have to spend just dreaming, imprisoned by the way I
Start every Saturday with Arkansas Game Day 5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Randall Ford and Bud Light. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
And we got Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette joining us on this lovely Thursday. Bob, the sun is shining. It's beautiful outside. It's crossover season. So it's got to be a good time to be a sports writer working for the Democrat-Gazette. Do you enjoy crossover season, or is it a little tough to, keep your head on a swivel and everything? Because I'm trying to prep for like 3 games at the same time, 3 different sports, and sometimes it's tough to focus on just one of them. What's this like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun time because especially when the teams are doing well. I mean, in 2018, 2019, I think fans and media and whoever almost couldn't wait for basketball season to get here because football was so bad. I mean, you knew, you'd write something about football and you'd think, boy, how much do our readers honestly care about this? I bet they care a lot more about, the basketball exhibition coming up than the next football game because the football team was honestly so bad. And obviously I know the interest level in cross country isn't the same as football, but I think people in the state appreciate how good Arkansas is in those sports. So, yeah, you got the LSU football game, you got the Gardner-Webb basketball game, you got NCAA cross-country regionals on Friday. You just had signing day and all these sports. So it's a busy time, but it's good to be busy. I mean, if you were bored, you probably wouldn't be doing your job very well.
That's right.
That's true.
Better to be busy and feel like you might be just a tiny little bit overwhelmed than bored and wondering what the heck to do with yourself. So we don't have to worry what the heck to do with ourselves. We can talk about, let's get into this football game on Saturday against LSU. You guys had a chance to talk with Trey Knox on Tuesday. He and KJ Jefferson were part of the players made available to the media. And boy, his story has been really incredible to watch over these last really, 3 seasons. Comes in as a highly touted wide receiver, and he's no longer a wide receiver. And I thought that the move to tight end was an idea of the coaches. Come to find out through Trey talking to you guys that was his idea that he went to the coaches with. And it's just amazing to think about when you look at the two players that had chances to move to tight end. Mm-hmm. One of them is now the starting running back in Dominique Johnson, and the other guy was expected to be like one of your best wide receivers. Now he might be your best tight end.
Yeah, Trey's an interesting guy. I think he's very mature for his age. He came in, he had a really good freshman year, got a little banged up. I think it was against Ole Miss, and that cut into his production. And then sophomore year, I don't know if you want to call it a sophomore slump or what, but he just had a tough sophomore year, wasn't getting the ball a lot. And honestly, in this day and age, I think a lot of guys who come in and had a good freshman year, and then their production and playing time had decreased the next year. A lot of them would be in that transfer portal. So I give Trey a lot. I'm not knocking guys for transferring. I mean, that's obviously, their right to do that. And you wish them well at the next place. And for a lot of guys, it might be the best thing to do. But I give Trey credit for sticking around. And, I think he was hoping to come in and be a big part of the wide receiver rotation. And he's a solid receiver, but he wasn't getting a lot of playing time. And they obviously had a need at tight end. They moved some other guys over there and had injury issues, and guys didn't stick. And obviously it's good for them that Dominic Johnson, that was a short-lived thing. But, Trey's been very productive. If you look at the end of the Ole Miss game on that drive that, got him within a point, he caught a couple big passes there. The drive the other day, I think he caught 3 balls. They weren't for a ton of yards, but they kept the chains moving. And it's like Sam Pittman said, for an NFL future, Trey Knox is probably like average speed for a receiver. For a tight end, he's very fast. He needs to add some weight, and you hope that won't slow him down much, if at all. But, I think he could be a really, really good – I think he's a good tight end for him now. I think he can be really good in the future with an off-season to add a little bit more weight, get a little bit stronger, so – he can be more physical. He's a pretty physical wide receiver, but obviously it's a different animal at tight end when you're in there maybe blocking, defensive ends instead of, cornerbacks.
Mm. And after the week that Dom Johnson had last week against Mississippi State, going for 107 yards on the ground, is he clear-cut going to be the number one guy for the last 3 games of the regular season and the bowl game?
I would think so, as long as he stays healthy. Sam Pittman had basically been beating the drums for Dominic for, I don't know, close to a month. Mm-hmm. And say, we need to get the guy the ball more. And I remember against UAPB, he had 91 yards rushing, which is really good, but it was only 6 carries. And, of course, you don't want to overwork a guy against UAPB, all due respect to them. But, I was kind of amazed as the game was going on. I remember thinking, well, gosh, what were Dominic's most carries in a game? Was it 9 or 10 or what was it? I looked it up and I was kind of shocked. It was 6. I think he'd done that 3 times.
Wow.
He had not had 6 carries, which kind of blew my mind. He had 39 carries on the season, and he was averaging almost 7.9 yards a carry. Now the other guy, Traylon Smith, had been good, and Rakeem Rocket Sanders had been good, but you're thinking they're averaging around 4.85, whatever. This guy's averaging 8 carries. Mm-hmm. 8 yards a carry. And so, they started him and made sure he got the ball a lot. And I think, he could probably carry 20-plus times. You don't want to wear him out totally, and they've got good depth there. But, he did. He had a heck of a game for a true or a sophomore. But he hadn't played a lot. I kind of think of him as a freshman. And he's obviously got that COVID year if he wants it. It's back. But, yeah, I thought he had a great game for him.
Mm-hmm. And on the defensive side of the ball this week, what do you expect to see out of Barry Odom's defense as far as a game plan to try to slow down LSU?
Well, it'll be interesting. I think they're going to mix it up, like they have, with different looks. And Max Johnson's a sophomore quarterback, and they're talking about playing the other quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. It's interesting. Their dads both have NFL backgrounds as players, and Nussmeier's a coach for the Cowboys. He's a quarterback's coach for the Cowboys. His dad, Doug Nussmeier, and Brad Johnson, Max Johnson's dad, played for the Vikings in Tampa Bay. I think he was the quarterback when the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl.
He was.
I might be wrong about it. And so they obviously have good bloodlines, good pedigree, however you want to put it. But I would think they would want to make Johnson have to throw into a lot of coverage, or Nussmeier, whoever may be playing. LSU ran the ball okay at Alabama, had over 100 yards, but they've struggled to run the ball. So I would think they would want to make LSU try. They'd want to try to make those young quarterbacks beat them, is what I would suspect.
Bob, let's talk basketball here. You've had a chance to get eyes on the men's basketball team for the 2 exhibitions and now the opener against Mercer. Are you worried at all about point guard play for this team? That's been the overarching theme so far from Muss about things to not to work on, but really to develop as somebody who I don't know if they've played point guard very much in their careers, but it seems like it's a problem right now. What do you see moving forward?
Well, it's definitely a concern when you look at their assist to turnover ratio. They've had, if you add in the exhibition games, they've had more turnovers than assists. And JT Note is a wonderful player. Great scorer. He had 30 points the other night. He's really not, a pass first kind of guy, and he probably shouldn't be the way he can score. I think Chris Wykes is kind of the same way. He's a score first guy. It's really wild to me. The craziest stat the other night to me was that Devo Davis played like 34 minutes. Not only did he not score, he didn't take a shot, didn't take a free throw. Now, he had 5 turnovers, so that took away some shooting opportunities. But talking to Eric yesterday, it sounds like they're going to probably put Devo at the point, which he played in high school. And last year he really didn't play it much, if at all. He was playing the 2 or the 3. Obviously a very good rebounder for guard. And Eric praised his defense the other night, and he did have 4 boards, which is really good for a guard. But the best passer on the team right now looks like it's Jalen Williams. And I guess you can't play him a point guard. Eric maybe like point forward. Maybe you have him out there, outside some kind of surveying the court. He's got very good court vision. He's got good hands. I think he's just got a good feel for passing. So I don't think he's going to be the point guard, but I think he's a guy that they may look to get him more involved as a passer. Maybe with some NBA type sets where a lot of times you see big guys outside if they're good ball handlers. But I think you're going to probably see Devo doing more of that point guard work because he's maybe a little bit more of a pass guy, although he obviously can score. I don't think there's going to be any other games where he's going to take a shot. Well, if he plays 30-plus minutes, I guess we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, I'd say point guard play is a concern, but it's a team with a lot of talent. I know they got down again in the first half. That kind of seems to be their MO going back to last season, but they had a nice win. I think Mercer's a solid team, veteran team, shoots the ball well. Openers are always kind of unpredictable. You look around the country, and there were some tough games for some teams you wouldn't have thought would get beat or play that close. I think, it's a cliche, but I think Arkansas is a work in progress and probably will be at least going into SEC play.
Well, that mirrors the rest of us then, so that's okay. Bob, we'll leave it there. Have a great weekend. Enjoy all the sports that you're covering, which is tough for me to keep track of, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week.
Okay, sounds good. You guys take care.
You got it.
Thanks, Bob.
You got it. And it's not to delegitimize the point guard for any other team, but for this Arkansas team specifically, the way that they want to run their offense, as Muss calls them, a lot of those quick hitters, a lot of those scoring opportunities, a forward can generate some of those scoring opportunities with lengthy passes, but you need a ball handler to be able to distribute at the same time in transition. it's going to have to come from one of the guards. 877-377-6963. If you want to get with us on halftime, we're going to wrap the first hour up after the break. And let's see, what are we getting into here? Oh, yes. At my least favorite fast food restaurant in all of the land, Snoop Dogg was handing out food. Thought the guy had a job. We'll get right back.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Only 10% of collision repair shops achieve ICAR Gold Class status, the highest training level recognized in the industry. Evans Body Shop is proud to be one of them. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. We invest in training because we would never cut corners with your family's safety at stake, and neither should you. Get your vehicle repaired at Evans Body Shop, where your safety is our top priority. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Stopped up kitchen sink, a slow draining shower, toilets that won't flush. All of these can be a nightmare. This is Emily with Mr. Reuter Plumbing in Fort Smith. Did you know that our staff does video camera inspection? This ensures that these headaches are fixed, giving you peace of mind. When you need plumbing, call Mr. Reuter in Fort Smith or book online at mrreuter.com. We're your neighborly company.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? No way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Ask Brandon Zimmerman in Barling or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
NWA Gold and Silver has moved to a new location in Fort Smith at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express. NWA Gold and Silver is always buying gold and silver, scrap, bullion, and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey,
Yeah, I'd like to dedicate this record right here to my main man, Johnny Cash, a real American gangster. I got my nephew Whitey Ford on the guitar, Young Trev on the drums, Grand Ole Opry, here we come. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack.
Are you entered to win free mortgage for a year? Go to hitthatline.com for more details. Brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
I'm getting ready to do the women's basketball game last night with Aaron Portman. We're sitting there. Pull up Twitter. Because, it's just it's a habit now.
I mean, it's Twitter.
Well, because you're obsessed with it.
Pretty much.
Aren't we all, though?
You don't know how to get through a day without checking it, every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
That's how we do our jobs, though, nowadays, right? I mean, half of the stuff
If you need an excuse to blame your addiction on, blame it on your job.
Exactly.
The
job made me do it.
I didn't need Twitter to do radio before Twitter ever came out, so I can't utilize that crutch.
Well, I do, because I've never done radio without Twitter.
Yeah, you don't know what life is like without social media.
I do. I mean, now, was I in elementary school? Yes, but I didn't join social media until, I want to say I was in 9th or 10th grade. And I kid you not, the only reason that I ever signed up for each individual social media is because a different girlfriend made me. First girlfriend made me get a Facebook. Next girlfriend made me get a Twitter. Next one made me get an Instagram.
Well, you are easily malleable by the other gender.
Well, because that way that they can constantly tag me and stuff, and be first one was so we could be Facebook official, because that actually meant
it's a big thing. I know
it meant something back in 2008 apparently. And then the next one to Twitter was that she could send me funny tweets, and that's when memes really started getting it going, And then Instagram, just so she could tag me and stuff, or more importantly, so I could post pictures of her. That's what it was more of was.
And after the 11th post in 11 months about our new month-iversary, so I'm done with that. Okay, we'll move on. But I opened up Twitter, which I am obsessed with, as Maddie points out. I have to accept these things about myself. Can't lie about it. And there it is. There's a video, actually, of Snoop Dogg leaning out of the Canes drive-thru on MLK.
I saw that.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute. This is, I knew he was at JJ's Live last night. There was a performance involving Snoop Dogg. I don't know if it was a rap battle or if it was a concert, but he was there. And there's a photo of him holding up an Arkansas basketball jersey next to Eric Musselman. Muss always seems to find a way to get, near the celebrities when they come up to Northwest Arkansas, and, they become Razorback fans almost automatically.
Was it Betty Wap at practice earlier this week?
No, I think he's the one in jail. He's the guy that was arrested in Queens at the Mets Stadium.
Oh, that's who was at practice? There was another rapper at practice this week.
Oh, it was Waka Flocka.
Waka
Flocka Flame. Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, Waka Flocka Flame. Waka.
We're reaching into the 90s with this stuff, man. Really. So Snoop Dogg's working at Cane's, which is my least favorite of the chicken restaurants. We've gotten into this on a number of occasions.
We'll agree to disagree. I do love me some good Cane's.
But of all the places he's in, Arkansas, was he trying to go for an authentic Arkansas dining experience by picking Cane's?
Well,
which originated in Louisiana, didn't it?
Yes.
Going to any of the chicken drive-thru restaurants on MLK is definitely an Arkansas dining experience. It's just part of being in Fayetteville. But it reminded me, Maddie, do you remember? Did you ever eat at the Taco Bell on Markham in Little Rock by War Memorial Stadium?
Yes, there's also a Wendy's over there too, isn't there?
There's Wendy's there too, but I don't remember if this guy worked at the Wendy's, but he definitely worked at the Taco Bell, and he was a Snoop Dogg lookalike. I'll never forget this. It's 1:30 in the morning after a Travelers game. I'm going through the drive-thru at Taco Bell for health food reasons,
of course,
with the other radio announcer, and this guy starts rapping to us through the drive-thru menu.
Oh.
1:30 in the morning. It was a very interesting experience. And he stops with, "Welcome to the Bell. Holla back with your order."
Nice.
So we're all right, can't wait to get a look at this dude, and pull up to the window, and there he is. He is a Snoop Dogg lookalike. I'm not kidding. Wearing a name tag that said his tallness. Did you ever order from his tallness,
I never
Maddie?
saw this gentleman, no.
I ordered from his tallness twice. He's got a Facebook page. It's called Where Is His Tallness? He's a thing across Central Arkansas. Maybe that's who it really was. It's like Jose Canseco sending Ozzie Canseco to the boxing match.
That's right.
Snoop Dogg sent his tallness to Cane's.
All I know is if I would have been rolling through the drive-thru at Cane's and I go to reach to get the person my debit card, and it's Snoop Dogg, I'm thinking I'm having some type of a flashback here.
At
Like
that point,
I'm freaking out. Like I feel like somebody had drugged me. Because that
what
would
I
be the
thought
last
happened with-
person I would expect to hand me a drink at the drive-thru at Cane's would be D-O-double-G.
But I thought I'd been drugged when I heard, this is Welcome to the Bell. Holla back what you order at 1:30 in the morning.
You're probably like, was I drinking? I don't think I was.
In order to have a flashback, you have to initially have done some sort of psychedelics.
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
Yes, good idea there. So that's the one thing that could get me to eat at Cane's.
I already got in
If I
trouble
knew
with my
Snoop Dogg
criminal
was there.
past earlier this week. I'm not adding on to it.
Oh, and by the way, since we learned things about Drew and you can't whistle, just make sure you stay tuned
Oh, no.
for halftime homework in just about 5 minutes or so. So, it's who's going to be the next celebrity to work at a drive-through restaurant? Because now, like, all the rappers are showing up.
Now they got it.
Well, Phil, I guess you forgot the picture I saw. Rob Schneider was also at Cane's yesterday.
Somebody
Somebody
texted
Deuce
in.
Bigelow, Mel Gigolo were both serving customers at Cane's.
Somebody
yesterday.
texted. I got to find it real quick.
Can we get Joe Dirt to serve at Zaxby's, please? Can we?
Travis Texas said he was there last night and Rob Schneider was beside the shade. What the heck is Rob Schneider doing in Fayetteville?
Well,
I hear Paul Blart Mall Cop is making pizzas at Pyology too.
He did have a show in that
He had
area.
a comedy show?
I think like 3 nights of sold out shows actually.
Rob Schneider.
The same Rob Schneider, yes. That's,
I would have gone and seen Rob Schneider, I guess, right?
You can do it.
You're right.
You're going to do it all night long.
If it weren't for Adam Sandler, where would he be now?
Where would half of the people in his movies be? That's literally
dead, probably.
Honestly, goal of life, just so I can be in all of his movies, be friends with Adam Sandler. I'll never have to work another day of my life because he will keep me employed with movies.
If he weren't friends with Adam Sandler, he would really be working at Cane's right now.
He could be.
Well, if Adam Sandler was selling at Cane's, I think I might go too. Just so that I could refer to him as the lunch lady and then walk away without ordering anything.
Their sauce is overrated and sucks.
I want the Cane's sauce.
Too much brown food. I need a little color in my life and in my palate. Halftime homework when we return.
The Big Hearty has 2 juicy charbroiled beef patties, melted cheese, and classic sauce. It's what you order from Hardee's when you want a big meal. A big, beefy, melted, cheesy meal. And with 3 juicy charbroiled beef patties, the really Big Hearty is what you order when you want a really big, meaty meal. A really big charbroiled beefy meal. A really big, beefy, melted, cheesy, juicy, tasty. You get the idea. The Big Hearty and Really Big Hearty at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price participation may vary.
The Peter Pender Zone of Wave Rural Connect is open. That fiber internet, phone, and TV service you've been hearing so much about is now available for areas south of the Arkansas River to Coxville, to east of Cecil, and over to Roseville, with amazingly fast internet starting at $49.95 a month. Call 1-833-4WAVE-RC or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com to get signed up. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities that we serve.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny and breezy. Our high this afternoon, upper 50s, north mid-60s south, with a northwesterly wind anywhere from 15 to near 30 miles per hour. Mainly clear to partly cloudy skies tonight, and overnight low will drop down into the upper 30s, and a few isolated showers to storms across the north Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing and Drain Cleaning. Book your appointment at MrRooter.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
.com.
Fans are amazing. It is lit down here on the sideline.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Here come the students. Oh, here come the students. They're coming from the south end, and this one has been a long time brewing.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Second hour of Halftime. So good to be with you on this fine Thursday. It is a great day across the state of Arkansas. Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett with you. We have you for another 59 minutes or so, and David Cobb joins us from CBS Sports to talk college basketball at the bottom of the hour. We'll have halftime homework in just a moment. But it is that time of the day.
It's that time of the day.
Usually gives us a call. He was early by like 30 minutes yesterday. He's right on time today. Charlie, you have the floor. How are you doing today? What's up?
Oh, man, it's all good. I'm actually in my car right now on the way home. How's it going?
Great.
What you guys got going?
The roads are lucky for you to be on them, man.
Well, I don't know about all that now. Don't give me too much praise.
Well, I've never driven with you before, so I was just guessing. That's all.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just going to talk about, I'm thinking ahead a little bit here in my mind. It actually just came to my brain as I was in the car. I was thinking ahead. Okay, our offensive line, and wow, I'm blocked off down here. I'm going to turn all the way around. But anyway, our offensive line next year, I was looking at it. How many guys on this line do we actually – that's one thing I'm worried about next year. How many guys do we actually have coming back next year? Are they all going to be gone? I'm pretty sure we're pretty much going to have a whole new starting five up front next year, right? Am I correct by that?
There is a fairly good chance of that. I know there's. I'd have to go back and double check on all of the situation, with the eligibility left for most of these guys. I think Ricky Stromberg still has time, eligibility, but it's a matter of if he wants to test the waters and get out to the draft. But left tackle Cunningham is out of eligibility. Brady Latham. No, Latham is a sophomore, so he'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back another year. It's up to Stromberg whether or not he, I think he's going to return. Dalton Wagner is going to be out of eligibility at right tackle. So, I mean, most of your offensive line probably doesn't return. But, there's still a chance you could get Ricky back, and you will have Brady Latham.
Well, I guess that's the only worry I have for next year because I think that can hurt KJ's growth, not only KJ's growth, but these running backs,
Bo Limmer will be coming back too, by the way. So Limmer, who's at guard as well, will be back. So you got a couple of them at least coming back, and I mean they've recruited to a point on offensive line to where you're hoping that Tykeas Crawford is going to be able to get out there and take over maybe at right tackle or left tackle next year. I know they were pretty high on Jalen St. John, who's, if I remember hearing from Coach Pittman yesterday, is dealing with an injury and won't be coming back for this year, but should be okay for next season. And I also feel like Cody Kennedy's done a pretty good job with this line, and with Sam Pittman as your head coach, you should be able to recruit well for this position. So, yeah.
I mean, isn't that the one position that you're really not that worried about recruiting?
Yes, and Ty Clary's gone too. But that's not at the forefront of my thoughts when I think of, really where you gotta replace a lot of production.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that there's certain spots you don't have to. I mean, you lose your 2 tackles and your center potentially. Those are probably the 3 most important positions on that line. For me, it's defensive line, it's linebacker, where you have so much production at linebacker right now, and I don't know if any of it is coming back. Bumper Pool's the only one who's got eligibility. Henry and Morgan are gone. So I'm thinking more on the defensive side of where you're going to need to replace players that are leaving. And not to say that you don't have to replace some guys on the offensive line, but I think you're replacing more defensively.
I can agree with that. Just of the stars that you have, especially that linebacker core, and then you talk about what you have up front, getting in the grad transfers from Missouri and the other transfers on the front line, that it's going to take a lot to replace. But the way that recruiting is going right now, I think you have utmost confidence in Sam Pittman and his coaching staff that not only will they replace that talent that you're losing, but you're going to get better and better talent.
Hutch sends a text here and tells me that Wagner could potentially come back as a super senior. It's one of the things. It's like,
would he be a super senior?
I don't think so. I don't. He was a redshirt junior last year. As I look at his bio page. So
see, that's the thing. Can't some players actually technically get like a 6th year now?
Well, they all get the one.
Yeah, so
everybody gets the COVID year.
So
everybody gets a COVID.
You're
year.
like a super senior, like a super Saiyan from like Dragon Ball Z.
Well, he redshirted his first year with the program, Wagner. That's where the red shirt comes from. So he still gets the 5th year to play. This is his 4th year to play. The COVID year would be the 5th. So, yeah, maybe Dalton Wagner does come back, and then potentially you have 3 out of your 5 starters back and one of the tackles, which is obviously incredibly important. Thanks, Hutch, for the text. Appreciate you helping us out there.
Appreciate it, Hutch.
All right. This is usually where we get into halftime homework. We're a little more than halfway through this segment. Mr. Conductor, where should we go here? What do you want to do?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Halftime homework.
What kind of homework assignment? I have a tough assignment. I'm thinking we should talk about the homework assignment.
Dude, did you do all your homework last night?
I'm not doing it. It's hard.
You really did your homework, didn't you?
It's time for halftime homework.
What do you boys have for me today?
Your homework first today is to get out to Buffalo Wild Wings because it's Thursday and your crew is hungry for flavor and football tonight. It's Boneless Thursday. Buy one, get one. Free hot and crispy boneless wings, football on wall-to-wall televisions, and your crew couldn't leave hungry if they tried. That's at Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro for the greatest of all times. BOGO boneless wings of equal value at participating locations on Thursdays only. Not valid with other offers. Size exclusions apply while supplies last. Limit 1 fees may apply. All right, we got things to teach Drew here. We found out earlier this week that there's one specific physical attribute that he has not been able to master or even do in a cursory way.
Why do y'all taunt me?
I don't know how
Sweet
you
whistling
can even,
sounds that I'll never be able to do.
How can you even be a fan of some of the greatest songs ever written if you can't whistle?
I can lip whistle. Like lip sing, I can lip whistle.
That's not the same thing. Lip syncing is a real talent. Just watch Putting on the Hits. But you listen to Scorpions' Wind of Change, and you got to be able to whistle in order to really enjoy the song. I mean, how did you ever enjoy that song before?
Guns N' Roses.
Well, and I've got that one ready to go in just a moment, too. That's right. There's Patience. You got songs by Otis Redding. I mean, come on now, Drew.
The Andy Griffith Show.
What are we even doing here?
I mean,
like, why'd we even show up today?
Because I can't whistle. I'm so sorry. I did not know that by admitting the fact that I can't whistle, it would change so many lives.
Well,
and the fact that I just can't do it, that according to some of our texters, makes me less of a man.
I mean, I really thought I would love to hear you whistle Patience. Nobody can do it quite like Axel can. Yeah.
I mean, listen to how moist those lips sound.
That's just called blowing into the microphone. That's all.
Trying.
A little too much wind for my taste.
There are other songs, too, that we can play here for you, Drew, to help you learn a little bit about how this is supposed to be done. Maybe you've heard, this one goes out to B.E. This is Billy Joel, The Stranger, yeah.
I've heard enough.
So there is somebody that can help you out with this, Drew.
Billy
there is
Joel?
a world champion whistler who does TED Talks on whistling.
Are you going to give me a link to it? You just put it on the rundown. There's no link.
I've got it pulled up for you here.
Oh,
You can
this
see.
is the whistling
This
lady.
is the young lady right here.
Okay, let me hear it.
Her name is Sweta Suresh. She is from Chennai in India. Listen to this.
You already got it? All right.
No, you
Oh,
you
yeah,
got
I
it. Go ahead.
Yep.
Does it just sound like lovely happiness?
Yes, it does.
I believe, isn't she like the world record holder for best whistler?
She has the Asian record for whistling continuously for 18 consecutive
How do you
hours.
do that?
I don't know how you do that.
Inhale
I really
through your
don't.
nose and whistle through your mouth.
Well, I can whistle inwardly and outwardly, so you probably have to do it both ways.
So wait, you breathe in to whistle?
Yeah. It's the same, in and out. It's just tougher to do on the going on the end. So her name is Sweta Suresh. You just Google her. She is the world champion whistling queen
And
of
she
India.
will she's guaranteed to teach me how to whistle.
There's no guarantee whatsoever that she can teach you, the least talented whistler of all time, who has no control over his lips and cheeks and tongue properly. But if there's anyone that can do it, it's
her.
Sweta Suresh.
He's
and
got to
there's
watch
your
her
halftime homework.
He's got to watch her TED Talk.
I enjoy a good TED
I think
Talk
she's
every
done
now and then.
numerous. TED whistles.
You know, as great as she is, I mean, she's at least the best whistler in Asia. Do you think that there's like a significant other in her life who just sometimes gets sick of her whistling?
Oh, you know it's got to be the pet peeve.
Does she ever stop? Is she like, I mean,
can
she
you
whistles
leave
for
work
18
at
hours.
work?
Yeah.
I know her parents are extremely proud of her. Extremely proud. All right, Drew. So that's what you got to do.
Okay.
I got to tell you, and I don't remember the name of the band of the album, but Revolution.
Yeah, Count Me In is the album name.
Bumpin' Uglies.
No, that was a month. That was a while ago. This week it was
California
Revolution.
reggae group that Drew assigned me. I listened to this album, and it's very mellow. It's very chill.
pretty
It's
good,
good
right?
for driving. It's nice for daytime driving. I dig it. I really was good with that because I do have a lengthy drive to Tuscaloosa next weekend, and I'll need a little music to go along with the podcast that I think you're going to be assigning me.
So I decided to do this as your halftime homework because it's something you said last week. This is something for us to kind of show each other what we really like and what makes us us. And one thing that I really, really enjoy is listening to a few different podcasts every week, right?
I love podcasts.
And I do too. And the ones that
Everybody's got one.
Exactly.
I like the East Side Liquor podcast.
That's our podcast.
Oh.
I mean,
well, that's the best.
It is the best podcast in the game.
On the Green
100%.
RV Podcast Network.
Exactly.
On HitThatLine.com. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to make sure you got all the sponsors in and every other link that you can possibly get. Can you find that on Apple Play, Spotify, anywhere else you listen to podcasts?
Any place you find your favorite podcasts.
That's my favorite line from like podcast tags. Like, listen to us on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. Like, okay. All right. So I have 3 weekly podcasts that I listen to, and they're all by Bad Magic Productions. And Bad Magic Production is run and hosted by comedian Dan Cummins.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yes. The 3 weekly podcast is Time Suck, Scared to Death, and Is We Dumb. Time Suck is a history, true crime, conspiracy type of podcast where every week they cover a different topic from cults to serial killers, true crime, historical figures and events, cryptids.
So each episode is its full story. You don't have to like listen to 9 episodes.
No, yeah, it's one story. It's about 2-hour podcasts. All right, so that's what your work, and it's got comedy in it. He sprinkles in jokes and some other things. Really entertaining. It's what got me onto Bad Magic Productions. The second second podcast is Scared to Death, hosted by Dan and his wife Lindsay, where they Dan tells 2 scary stories, supposedly true paranormal events, and then his wife tells 2 fan-submitted stories. I have submitted a story to this podcast. They haven't read it yet. It's been like 2 years since I submitted it, so I doubt that they're going. I doubt they're going to read it.
Maybe
the waiting period's over.
Yeah. I think I doubt that they're gonna tell my fan submitted story there. So that's option number 2 that you have. Podcast number 3 is We Dumb, hosted by Dan and Joe Paisley. They explore all the dumb things and dumb people on the internet with segments including Would You Rather questions, one-star heroes of people who complain about the stupidest stuffs on Yelp, to you from internet, the dumb and weird things you can buy on the internet, and more. You only have to listen to one of them. Okay. So I'll give you a pick. Whichever one of those tickled your fancy the most, but I guarantee you're going to be hooked. I listen to all three of them every week. When I'm not listening to the great content on ESPN Arkansas.
I love stories about stupid people. That's why we used to do the Duma of the Week.
Yeah.
But it'd be really difficult to not choose a show that's called Time Suck.
It's really good. And all the listeners are referred to as suckers. And at the end, he tells you, just keep on sucking.
Well,
and do with that as you will.
How could I say no to an exit like that?
So when I got into it, he had already been like 100 episodes in. So I just, and my advice for you or anybody else who wants to check it out, go and listen onto a topic that you already know a lot about. That way it shows what type of research, and he actually does know what he's talking about and does like do a bunch of research, and it's topical and it's funny. So there's like 200 and I want to say he's like close to 260 or maybe even over that in Time Suck. There's like 120 episodes of Scared to Death, and I think they're on episode 68 of Is We Dumb. So I mean, you've got a pretty big catalog to choose from.
This is great. Maddie, he's assigned me my homework is something called Time Suck, and I've given Drew a total time suck by watching TED Talks of the world champion Whistler. He's going to be pursing his lips and blowing into the mirror for the next week. So that's a total time suck too. Who's wasting more time, he or me?
You're not wasting anything. You're going to be highly entertained and educated. You're going to learn a thing or two.
I sure hope so.
I'm sure that TED Talk will be fascinating. I did notice that the audio is terrible on it, so at least you have that to look forward to.
That's great. But you will enjoy this. This is not a punishment homework assignment, and no means. Like, I listen to these things every week.
Like, he just turned you on to something that's going to change your life.
It might. I mean, you're going to be a sucker. You're going to be a creep/peeper, and then you're going to be a dummy.
In a few years, when Dune Part 2 comes out, you won't have time to watch it because you'll be listening to all these podcasts.
All the back catalog.
He told us Relapse by Eminem was a better album than people gave it credit for, and it turned out to be the single most evil hour of music I've ever heard in my life. I'm not sure what to think now.
Never said it was great. I just said it was better than people gave it credit for. Now, when people when people say it's terrible, and I say it's not terrible, it's okay.
Bad.
And when I say it's meh, that's better than terrible. It's all. If we go back into the records and read through the meeting notes, all I said was it's better than people give it credit for. And when people give it a 0, all I have to do is say it's a 2, and it's better.
This fits into the 1-star Yelp reviews on this podcast I'll be listening to. All right, halftime will come right back after the break. 877-377-6963. Stay with us.
It's like a merry-go-round. I see you under the midnight.
There's no place in the SEC that does it like this. You know, where the home court advantage is so huge when the fans show up.
Number one environment in college basketball, no argument, Bud Walton.
I ain't never heard of him.
Back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use our promo code BELIEVE to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of these amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Do you know the difference between admission and confession? Admission is acknowledging the truth of something. Confession is a formal statement agreeing that you're guilty. Greg Allman admitted he's no angel, but that doesn't mean he confessed his guilt before God. Romans 10:10 says, one believes and is justified, and with the mouth one confesses and is saved. Confess to God that Jesus died in your guilty place, and then you'll receive His amazing grace. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Pray about it.
The Game Day Lodge in Branson is the perfect place for corporate retreats, golf trips, and team building activities. You'll find 10 bedrooms with 19 beds for up to 28 guests, 9 bathrooms, 17 TVs, poker table, 2 kitchens, 2 laundry rooms, a fire pit, 2 gas grills, outdoor basketball court, a heated indoor swimming pool nearby, and a 10-minute drive to Silver Dollar City. Not to mention near some of the best golf courses. Just search Game Day Lodge on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Airbnb, and VRBO. We're back and better than ever. All eyes are on the gridiron as teams are back for another football season. As always, BetOnline is your #1 spot for all the pro and college football action this season. With the new updated site and interface, even more odds, props, and contests, BetOnline continues to be the #1 source for everything football. Head to your website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your
Famous Fridays appetizers like the loaded potato skins or Friday's signature whiskey glazed sliders. It's food, fun, and football with $2 drafts Thursday through Sunday at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Halftime brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. Our friends Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan at the entrance of Riley Farms, Highway 71 in Fort Smith. They serve to give patients better lives and comfortable experiences. Riley Farm Dental provides all dental procedures, including braces, implants, cosmetics, and the simple stuff. Been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. It's Riley Farm Dental. Visit them at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, RileyFarmDental.com, 226-3500 if you'd like to schedule an appointment. You see, Jim Mora has been hired as the new football coach at the University of Connecticut. Back into the coaching ranks.
Good for them.
Former UCLA head coach, former Seattle Seahawks and Atlanta Falcons head coach, Falcons coach before Bobby Petrino took over there briefly. And he'll try to revive, it's safe to call UConn a moribund football program.
I think that's very safe to say. They've won like 4 games in the last 6 years.
Yeah, haven't had a winning season since
2015.
2010.
No, they won 6 games in 2015.
Well, they lost the bowl game, so 6 and 7. 6
Okay.
and 7. That's
You
right.
got me there. You got me on the technicality.
So they brought Edsel back for another go around. That lasted
didn't work.
less than a year. and now they're going to Jim Mora. This is such an interesting hire. I mean, he was at a really high-profile spot at UCLA where he coached for 6 years. Had a couple of really good seasons there before things fell apart.
They were decent. I don't know if anybody would say that they were great years.
2 10-win seasons. I mean,
yeah.
I'll say a great season is 10 wins.
I will too. You're right. I was being a little judgmental. That's on me. I'm sorry.
And the interesting thing about this, I remember was it a radio interview or a television interview that he did while he was the head coach of the Falcons? And this was just like a month or so before he was fired. Might have been right in the heat of a charge into the postseason or attempting to make the postseason, which the Falcons missed that year. And he publicly said, and afterwards he said he was just kind of joking about it, that he, at that moment, and keep in mind, he was the Falcons head coach. He had Michael Vick. He said, I would take the Washington Huskies football job now if it was offered to me. That's where he played.
Yeah.
That's where he grew up. He never got a chance to coach at the University of Washington.
But by golly, he's a Husky
But
now.
he's a Husky anyway. He's a Yukon Husky. Wonder how long that's going to last.
Not the path he thought he was going to take to get to his destination, but by golly, here he is.
Is Yukon in a conference? I know they're independent.
They're independent.
They were in the American.
They are. They play independent football. They're in the Big East.
The Big East for everything except football, but just like independent just is not the way to go right now. How many times
you play a lot of UMass, a lot of New Mexico States.
How much
you
how many
lose
times
to
are you
UMass?
Stake your program on beating UMass.
Well, they lost to UMass this year.
Losing to UMass, yeah, that's craziness. Anyway, so welcome back, Jim Mora. I wonder if who's the CBS sports guy? Doug.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about. He and Doug got into it.
Doug Gottlieb?
Doug Gottlieb. Yeah, they're not good friends anymore. We'll be right back.
Halftime is brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. 4 generations making your family dreams come true.
Hi, welcome to Furniture Depot. And you, come on in.
Couches are flying off the floor at Cheyenne's Furniture Store.
Sarah, can you go over to dining sets, please?
She needs more sales associates before shoppers take their seats elsewhere.
Can somebody get me a price check on trundle beds?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts specializes in keeping your car on the road. Not sure how much life is left in your battery? Our professional parts people will test it for free. If it does need to be replaced, we'll help you find just the right one to fit your car. Our Superstart batteries are built to handle even the toughest conditions. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
The Peter Pender Zone of Wave Rural Connect is open. That fiber internet, phone, and TV service you've been hearing so much about is now available for areas south of the Arkansas River to Coxville, to east of Cecil, and over to Roseville, with amazingly fast internet starting at $49.95 a month. Call 1-833-4WAVE-RC or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com to get signed up. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities that we serve.
So this one time at B-Dubs, a couple of friends came in for football, and they asked for the best seats in the house, which is kind of a trick question. Since we've got wall-to-wall TVs, you can watch the game in any direction. Kind of makes every seat in the house the best seat in the house. So when I explained all that, they just sat at the bar, because you got to be close to the beer on game days. Come into Buffalo Wild Wings for the absolute best game day experience the NFL can offer. Buffalo Wild Wings, to the greatest of all times.
Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Please drink responsibly.
Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. We are running a sale that will save you hundreds of dollars. On top of that, we are having our Super Black Friday Plus sale all month long. Here's where the plus comes in. After saving hundreds of dollars on already marked down prices, get another 10% off on top of that. Frank Row Furniture's November Super Black Friday Plus sale. Frank Row Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Ask Shelter agent Bill Hicks about renter's insurance.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Gonna pack up some of these empties here just as soon as we know it.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
All right, getting into some college basketball now, and we are joined on halftime by David Cobb, national basketball writer, football writer as well, CBS Sports. Second time we've had him on the show here, and now it's finally basketball season. So, David, it is a great time of the year, especially for someone who writes about the sports you write about. How are you doing?
Good, guys. I'm staying busy. It's a good busy though. I love having basketball on to kind of give us something to sink our teeth into during the week. I'm not a huge fan of the MAC action in football, so being able to flip on some college hoops is always nice on a Tuesday through Thursday, type of time frame during the week.
Yeah, and here we're all excited about the start of Razorback basketball season. They're ranked 16th in the AP poll, and had a pretty good-looking win over Mercer. Thought Mercer is a good team. Might have a chance to win the SoCon. This is a team, David, that's trying to build chemistry on the fly. A bunch of guys that haven't really played together, but I think that's the case for a lot of teams in college basketball. The one and done was one issue, and now you got the transfer portal and a lot of players coming and going. So, my question to you is, when you're looking at rosters before the season and trying to make your predictions, as all writers will do, how do you predict, or can you predict chemistry? Like, do you base that off of coaches? Are you basing it off of a coach's previous success, or does it have to do with the players that you're talking about?
Yeah, I think in Arkansas's case, you give a lot of the benefit of doubt to Eric Musselman, and the fact that he is a coach with a proven track record of getting success out of rosters that have a lot of new players. And so you're spot on. Everybody is relying on transfers now and have rosters that are revamped versus what they've looked like, even just a few months ago. But not all coaches have been doing that at a high level of success for a long time, like Eric Musselman has. And so I was responsible this offseason for ranking our transfers. And I had Stanley Umude high on that list, and that was partially just because I trust Eric Musselman's evaluation of transfers. And so he certainly gets the benefit of the doubt from me when I'm going through and trying to figure out and make sense of a roster that looks a lot different. So it is going to take some time. I think there were they were losing at halftime against Mercer. I watched a few minutes of that game, and it was interesting. I mean, that was one of the weirder box scores that I saw on opening night because you had JD Note taking 26 shots, and then I've been trying to figure out where's Connor Vanover, so just some interesting notes, I guess, from that box score and from the little bit of that game that I saw. But in the long run, they are going to figure it out. I have that much faith in Eric Musselman, and I think that Arkansas is going to be a team that finishes in the top 4 of the SEC.
And speaking of rankings, you talked about how you had Stanley Umude pretty high up in your transferred ranking. You all also at CBS Sports did top 101 players, and the only guy that you had on there from the University of Arkansas was the Miami transfer, Chris Likes. Is there a reason he's the only guy, and kind of what made you want to put Chris Likes on that list in the first place?
Yeah, so I think the reason why he's the only one on there is because, there's just sort of an unknown factor. I mean, I think J.D. Note had a case. He was pretty productive last year, so he got some votes in that process as well. You know what? Actually, Devo Davis got some votes in the process as well. But, it's got to get votes from 3 out of our 4 writers for a guy to get on the list. And so it's a pretty long process that we go through. And I think Chris Likes makes it just because of that long proven track record of steady production at the high major level. I mean, everyone's seen the numbers he put up at Miami. And, he got better as a 3-point shooter in the 2019-20 season as well, which is really the last year that he played, without injury. And so I think it's just that steady track record of proven production. Is what I would say, is what got Chris Likes on the list. But he wasn't the only one to get votes. And so I think Note, Devo Davis got some votes as well. And who knows? I mean, Audius Tony might be a guy who we look back on in a few months and say, well, he should have been on that list as well because he was very productive at Pittsburgh, and another guy who I had ranked pretty highly in my transfer ranking.
And kind of on a national base of some of the best players, tell me and tell our audience, who probably hasn't had a chance to go back and watch Gonzaga's first game about Holmgren. Is he built up to the hype? Do you expect him to not only live up to it but maybe exceed it? And who's some other national guys that outside of Arkansas that fans should be watching this year?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really fun freshman class to watch. And they looked really good on Tuesday night and even for that matter last night. Michigan playing and Musa Diabate making his debut and making some pretty strong contributions off the bench. But most of the guys from the top 10 were, among the top 10 freshmen were in action on Tuesday, and they all looked pretty good. I mean, Chet Holmgren and Gonzaga got an easy win over Dixie State, and Holmgren had 5 assists, 5 blocks, scored double figures. He had a lot of turnovers as well, but he stuffed that stat sheet. And he's a 7-footer who eventually is going to step out and start hitting some threes as well. So yeah, he's going to be pretty good. Everybody saw what Banchero and Keels did at Duke. That was very impressive, I thought, for 2 true freshmen to go into a neutral site environment against a top 10 team for their first college game and, combined to score 40-plus points and really lift Duke to a victory. That was really impressive. And then over in Memphis, their 2 big-time freshmen delivered as well. So I think in the past few years it's kind of been disappointing with some of the freshman classes, and then some of the top players have had eligibility issues or have gone, the pro route or whatever. This year we got a lot of them playing college ball, and they all look really good so far. It's early, but those guys I just mentioned are all special freshmen who could make this a really fun season.
David, your colleague Kyle Boone on his preseason picks on CBSSports.com chooses Arkansas as a Final Four team, but he called it more of a system pick because of Eric Musselman's success with incoming transfers, and you do have some exciting transfers and players that have returned. So, and then your pick of the national champion is Texas. And when I read your reasoning behind that also it's not to poo-poo the talent that they have, and they brought in some great talent and great returners too. But you write it's putting tremendous faith in a first-year coach like Chris Beard. But this is a coach who's always had success in years 1 and 2 wherever he's been.
Yeah, you guys know very well. He did a remarkable job at Little Rock in his first year there. They had a sub 500 season the year before he got there, and he leads them to a 30-win season and a victory in the NCAA tournament. I mean, just incredible. And then year 2 at Texas Tech, he's got them in the national title game. And so now you put him in a place like Texas where he's already assembled what is far and away the best transfer class, at least on paper. I mean, I'm open to Muss's group, proving me wrong on that. But on paper, that Texas group of transfers that he brought in is the best. And so you combine that with the veteran guards that he kept, and it's just, to me, I think the perfect combination. I think everything in college basketball right now with your roster, it's all about having that right combination. So you got to have veteran guards, you got to have young talent, you have to have some key transfers who can plug in and play right away, and you got to have the right coach. And I think Texas is hitting on all of those fronts, even in year 1 of Chris Beard's tenure. So he's not building this thing over a 5 or 6 year time frame. He's not taking the Shaka Smart route. He's seeing what Shaka did and seeing that wasn't enough for that fan base. He's getting to it right away, and I think they're going to challenge Kansas for the Big 12 and absolutely make a run, to the Final Four and potentially a national title.
Give me where you make out the SEC to be. What do you think the not power rankings, but who are you looking at as the top 4 or 5 SEC teams this year? And if you add any predictions on who you think will win, we'd love to hear that too.
Yeah, I think in almost everyone's opinion, it's a 5-team race for the league title. And so you got the 3A schools, who are my top 3. I go Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn for the top 3 in the league. I'm a little higher on Auburn than I think a lot of people are, but I really, really like their front court. It's going to be a matchup nightmare for some teams when they've got to face up against Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler in the same lineup. So I'm big on the 3As, and then I think Kentucky and Tennessee will be good enough as well to compete for the league title and certainly be in position potentially for a double bye in the SEC tournament. And then from there, I think there's 3 more teams who I realistically see maybe having a shot at reaching the NCAA tournament. I would go Mississippi State, LSU, Florida. Beyond that, it gets a little weaker, and I'm not sure that I see anybody else beyond those 8 really making a run at the Big Dance. But I think it's pretty clear cut. You got that top 5, with the 3As, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then we'll see, from there. But this could be a year where the league gets, half of its teams into the Big Dance.
Mm-hmm. David, and one of the biggest storylines of the year, and it's been of the off season, of the farewell tour for Coach K. How realistic is it for him to have that storybook ending, cutting down a net, going out on top with another national championship? How realistic do you see that scenario playing out?
I would have said pretty unrealistic before Tuesday night, but it was hard not to get caught up a little bit in how well those freshmen played in that environment against Kentucky. I mean, that was a pretty big-time stage, and they delivered. But I will say, and I just realized this, it's almost, I can't believe that, maybe I just had the sound off because I was working on other stuff, but surely they talked about this on the broadcast. Duke shot 1 of 13 from 3-point range in that game. And that's it's a small sample size for sure, but they lost their top 2 3-point shooters, and Matthew Hurt, who is gone, and then DJ Stewart, who is gone as well. They were their top outside shooters last year, and they weren't even really a good outside shooting team to begin with. So who's going to hit threes for them? Because you can't survive in college basketball anymore without being at least decent at 3-point shooting, or at least, without having at least 1 or 2 guys who can be a threat, to knock down the 3. And so that would be my biggest question mark on Duke. But I'm open to that, that facet of their game developing. And I think the rest of what they showed against Kentucky was enough for me to say, yeah, it is still possible that Duke could, make a run at this thing. But, man, they've got to find some outside shooting if it's going to happen.
David, last thing, we've seen a rash of midseason, early season firings in college football, and now we've had hirings for head coaches with 2 FBS programs moving forward. One of them is not even going to be a part of that program until the new year. Is there a chance that college basketball follows anything like that kind of program?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was pretty surprised by the number of basketball firings in this last cycle. It seemed like, there were more changes certainly during the pandemic in 2020, there was only one Power 5 job change, and that was Wake Forest. But then if you look back over the last several months, there were, over a dozen power conference coaching changes in college basketball. And I already, see a couple of coaches who look like, they're on the hot seat. And the one that really sticks out to me is Jeff Capel at Pittsburgh. I mean, they lost their opener against a team they should not have lost to on Tuesday. And he's
one of their top players was arrested for assaulting a police officer too.
Yeah, and then he lost his best players from last year's team. I mean, y'all got one of them there in Arkansas with Tony, who was a big time producer for him. So he's not recruiting well. He's not retaining the talent he does have, and now they're going out and losing their opener by 15 to the Citadel. I am more than willing to go ahead and say, yeah, Jeff Capel is going to be on the hot seat, and he won't be alone. There will be plenty of coaching changes in college basketball.
Real quick, David. Georgia Tech lost their opener too. How's the nicest guy in college basketball's job security looking? I mean, people say he's the nicest guy, but he did yell at me, a college broadcaster, in a post-game interview one time. So how nice can the guy be?
I need to hear more of that story sometime. But, I think he's okay. He bought himself some time with their NCAA tournament appearance last season and winning the ACC tournament. But, yeah, you can't have a quad 3 loss in game 1 and then expect to make the NCAA tournament. They lose 2 of their top scorers from last year as well. So I don't think this is going to be an up year for Josh Pastner, but I think he'll be fine in the long run because of that run they made last season.
If I know Drew, he probably deserved it from Coach Pastner.
All I ask is why. I mean, that's a simple question. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you. Enjoy the basketball.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, David.
That's David Cobb from CBSSports.com with thoughts on start of the basketball season. Hey, plans this weekend need to involve 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. They open until midnight tonight and 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Makes it a great place to watch the Razorback football game in Death Valley, a night game, and you can be there at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge enjoying all of it. Upscale Social Lounge offers the finest spirits, wine, and cigars in Northwest Arkansas, and you won't smell like your cigar because they replace the air every 4 minutes. Go to 906lounge.com's Facebook page for menu and events, 906lounge.com the website, and they're located in Fort Smith at 906 Garrison Avenue. We will wrap halftime up after this quick break.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top-shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you're a fence builder or have building experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits, plus a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Reduce your home energy bills while increasing your comfort. AOG and OG&E are offering a weatherization program that provides free home energy efficiency upgrades to current customers in Arkansas and Oklahoma. If your home is at least 10 years old, it may qualify for these upgrades, which include attic insulation, caulking, air sealing, weather stripping, and LED lighting. To find out how you can benefit from these free home weatherization improvements, contact 844-413-3065 or visit AOGC.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
It's No Shave November, benefiting the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Show support for prostate cancer survivors and help raise money to support the mission of the Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation. Donate online at arprostatecancer.org. All money raised supports Arkansas Prostate Cancer Foundation's free awareness and educational programs, free prostate cancer screenings, and free patient assistance programs. And every dollar raised stays in Arkansas. Prostate cancer screenings can save your life. Donate today at arprostatecancer.org.
NWA Gold and Silver has moved to a new location in Fort Smith at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express. NWA Gold and Silver is always buying gold and silver, scrap, bullion, and coins. Plus, NWA Gold and Silver buys and sells jewelry of all kinds. Diamond rings, wedding bands, engagement rings, earrings, and more. Bring in your gold or silver today to the people that pay the most and have the best deals. NWA Gold and Silver in their new location at 4600 Rogers Avenue across from Med Express in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Some good stuff there that Drew's trying to lip sync to. There's no whistling in this song, though, Drew, so it's perfect for you.
It is perfect for me.
I
don't have to try to
whistling
whistle.
in a Hall & Oates song? I'm sure there's been one.
No, fun fact, both Hall and Oates can't whistle. Little people know that.
Yeah.
Very few people knew that.
I doubt that.
I mean, fun fact.
I highly doubt that.
No need to Google it. Just take it as fact, everyone.
Cheating on your halftime homework would be going to a Academy Sports and buying a whistle. It's not the same thing, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna watch my whistle talk and follow along with the tips that we learned earlier this week about licking those lips and then puckering them up.
I sent you the website, right?
You did.
AtlantaParent.com.
You did. You sent it to me. So all I got to do is just keep licking those lips and puckering up to creep Maddie out over here.
And then blow, baby, blow.
And make as much eye contact as possible.
I got a text from a friend who listened to that segment. He got into the car in the middle of that segment. The first thing he heard me say was blow, baby, blow. And he's like, what did I walk into? It's like, don't worry, dude. It's whistling.
Don't worry. It makes sense.
Just whistling instructions. It's a midday show for crying
Come on,
out loud.
man.
This is family program.
What do you expect? Family friendly.
Hey, you got your NFL team in action tonight.
Yeah, we do.
You stay up late with your Ravens and the Dolphins.
Hopefully, I'll be able to go to bed at halftime because it'll be an absolute slaughtering.
Well, they're favored by 7.5 on the road. Tua is not playing, right?
He is not.
Yeah, he's hurt. That's what I thought. Well, it's probably better for the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens 6-2, Dolphins 2-7, and that'll be on Fox and the NFL Network tonight.
All I know is if I come in cranky tomorrow, you might not. You don't even have to watch the game to know how it went, because if I come in cranky, that means I actually had to stay up to finish the game, and I want to go to bed at 9:30 like normal.
Well, then I hope this game is tied going down to the final minute of the fourth quarter.
You want me to be cranky tomorrow?
Absolutely. I want your
I want to be
Friday
Mr. Brightside here.
No, I think I want you to show up tomorrow with an angry look on your face. You know, have you watched KJ Jefferson and his press conferences and everything? There's just something about the direction of his eyebrows. He always looks angry, even when he smiles. There's just some people, and he seems to be a pretty genuine person and everything, but he always kind of has that like furrowed brow. Which if I'm on the other side of the defensive line, this dude's ready to run over me at a moment's notice.
I want Drew to come in a bad mood tomorrow just for the sake of me being able to say at some point during the show, "What's with the mug on this guy?"
Yeah. Why the sour puss?
Yeah.
Puss. Speaking of quarterbacks, there's a really good matchup of good quarterbacks in the ACC tonight. North Carolina and Pitt at Heinz Field. Pitt a 6.5-point favorite. Kenny Pickett leading the Pitt Panthers, who lead the nation in scoring offense.
Two-glove Pickett.
What is it, 45 points per game? And North Carolina and Sam Howell. So, see some of these quarterback rankings, and Pickett has kind of come up and taken in some of these guys' eyes as maybe the best quarterback available in the draft. And as a Steelers fan, it's like, you got to replace the quarterback here in Pittsburgh. You might have a pretty good one coming out of Pitt. The last time that the Steelers were in a really good position to draft a really good Pitt quarterback, they passed on Dan Marino, and they regretted it for like 15, 20 years.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
I'm not going to put Kenny Pickett in the same category as Dan Marino, though, so I didn't mean to go in that direction.
Well, I think I'm going to say this, but I'm 99% sure it's accurate. I saw earlier that I believe Kenny Pickett was the number one quarterback on Mel Kiper's updated draft board of QBs. Because I think it was Pickett, then it was Matt Corral, then it was Willis, and then Desmond Ridder, who to round out his top four. So, and he's been phenomenal this year. I mean, just the accuracy, the yards that he's thrown for, it's been very fun to watch. And I can see the upside and the talent there in the NFL, and you might as well draft from your own city, right?
Well, yeah, you feel like that. I don't know, the Steelers have brought in plenty of Pitt players before. Of course, James Conner as well. Jacoby Criswell, though.
You let Sam Darnold get out of the city.
Sam Darnold? He didn't go to Pitt.
He did.
Sam Darnold went to USC. Yeah,
Not Sam Darnold. Aaron Donald. That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry.
Aaron Donald. That's
Aaron
right.
Donald. Sorry.
Yeah, he ended up close to USC.
Darnold,
anyway.
wrong Darnold. Okay, sorry.
Speaking of North Carolina quarterbacks, Jacoby Criswell, who Arkansas recruited really hard, but ended up at North Carolina. Probably going to be their starting quarterback when Howell graduates after this year. All right, we've made it to the end of a Thursday edition of Halftime, and we get to wrap up the week tomorrow with the Golden Hour as well, which we come to learn the Golden Hour is a real thing.
It is.
You're supposed to go to sleep between 10 and 11. Good luck with that today, Drew. And Maddie as well, but Drew's got to wake up a little earlier. It's a little tougher for him. So for Maddie and for Drew, this is Phil, and have yourself a great rest of your Thursday. Now get up, get out, and get better.